games of 1974, the Pirates take on the Chicago Cubs, while the St. Louis Cardinals are at Montreal for a 3-game series up there. Both ball clubs in a dead heat after 159 ball games, both in with 85 wins, 74 defeats. Bruce Keeson gets a big job here tonight. His record 8-8, and against the Chicago Cubs lifetime, he's done very well. 5-1 and 3-0 this year. Bill Bonham will be his mound opponent. He's been a good pitcher against the Pirates. He has won 2 and lost 1 this year, and has had 2 excellent starting assignments earlier this season. His record 11 wins. He has dropped 21. The Pirates, well, they need a 3-game winning streak right now. I'll be back to set the starting lineups for you after I remind you that this game is brought to you in part by Joy, nature's high-protein food for dogs. Higher in protein, and it still costs less than most other brands. By your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer, who has immediate delivery on America's #1 selling compact. And by your host for the opening innings, Iron City Beer. When you're really ready to pull it on, pour on the iron. This broadcast is authorized under broadcasting rights granted by the Pittsburgh Baseball Club solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the description and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Baseball Club is prohibited. Now, Willie Stargell at home plate with manager Jim Marshall, who took over the post from Waddy Lockman at midseason. Marshall, by the way, has been rehired for 1975. They're exchanging cards at home plate. The Derry area high school band out on the field, and they'll be ready for the playing of our national anthem. A very sparse crowd on hand, somewhere around 5,000 or 6,000, maybe a little bit more than that here tonight. Rather disappointing, but Pirates aren't disappointed about things. They're ready to play baseball. And they have come from way back in this season to stay in contention into the final 3 games of 1974. Here's the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs against Bruce Keeson. Rick Muddy will lead it off. He'll be in center field. Batting second, Don Kessinger. He'll be at shortstop. The left fielder, the veteran Billy Williams, back in action after an absence of a couple of months with an injury. Williams will be batting third. He'll be playing in left field. Bill Madlock, who has come on strong in the second half of the year, and another good candidate for Rookie of the Year honors, will be at third base. He'll be batting fourth. He's hitting at .313, and it's a very solid .313, too. Jerry Morales in right field will bat fifth. First baseman, a rookie, batting sixth, Pete LaCock. Steve Swisher will do the catching and bat seventh. Rob Sperry will play at second base and bat eighth. And the pitcher will be Bill Bonham. His record 11 wins and 21 defeats. His lifetime record of 21 and 28. He beat the Pirates 7-3 in Wrigley Field on June the 23rd, and he beat them here on August the 4th, 4-3. The only loss he suffered against the Bucks this year was in a relief role here at Three Rivers on the 15th of May, losing 3-2. So lifetime, he is 2-1. He has a good fastball and a good curveball, and he can be a good strikeout pitcher when he has his strong stuff. Rennie Stemmett will lead it off for the Pirates. He'll be at second base. Batting second, playing at third, Richie Hebner. In center field, Al Oliver, he'll hit third. In the cleanup spot, Willie Stargell, he'll be in left field. The right fielder tonight, Dave Parker against the right-hander Bonham, as this will hit this one out. Parker batting fifth in right field. Manny Sanguin will do the catching and bat sixth. The first baseman, Ed Kirkpatrick, will bat seventh. The shortstop, rookie Frank Tavares, will hit eighth, and the pitcher, Bruce Keeson, his record 8-8. The last time Bruce pitched, he beat St. Louis out in St. Louis by the score of 7-3 in the second game of that very important series. We'll keep you up to date on that ball game up in Montreal, as the Cardinals will be playing up there and getting underway, I think, about a half hour later from our starting time here. Art McKinnon introducing the Pirates starting lineup. Willie Stargell going to left field, Al Oliver in center, Dave Parker in right, Hebner at third, Tavares at short, Stemmett at second base, Ed Kirkpatrick at first, Keeson the pitcher, and Manny Sanguin doing the catching. Cubs, by the way, of introduction, they are a good hitting ball club. In the games that they have beaten us, they have simply gotten much better pitching than they are used to getting. Their earned run average of their pitching staff has been rather high. I think only one poorer of them, and that is San Diego. But they have pitched well against the Bucks before, and if the Bucks are to sweep this thing, they've got to do some run scoring. Time now for our national anthem played by the Derry area high school band. but a very enthusiastic crowd here tonight for this big opening game of the three-game series between the Pirates and the Cubs. Pirates haven't done too well against Chicago this year, winning 6 and losing 9 of the 15 games played so far. They'd have done much better in this ballpark, splitting even in the 6 ball games, 3 wins, 3 defeats. In Wrigley Field, the Cubs won 6 of the 9 games played out there. I tell you about the scores that we've had against this ball club. They have shut us out twice. Both times in Wrigley Field, 1-0 and 3-0. They had a 7-1 win here against us, and they beat us 4-3 twice in this ballpark, 3-2 out in Chicago. In the only high-scoring ball game when they beat us by the score of 8-4 out there. Now, the Bucks have got to do some run scoring against Chicago Cub pitching staff. Their earned run average 4.28, but as you can see by the scores that they've thrown up against us, when they've beaten us, they have gotten some pretty strong pitching. It's a rookie-dominated ball club. The Cubs have more rookies on their staff, on their roster, than anybody in the major leagues this year, something like 11 or 12 rookies, and they made the decision to go with younger ball players this year. They've taken some lumps, but they've come on to play much better baseball, and with Billy Williams back into the starting lineup, they have a bit of a veteran flavor there. He is swinging the bat well. He has a bit of fame, too, but offensively, they will score some runs with a lineup of Monday, Kessinger, Williams, Madlock, Morales, LaCock, Swisher, and Spearing, and Bonham. Well, we're set for baseball. And the gunner, a little bit under the weather, is hopefully able to get through this evening. Time now for the voice of the Pirates, Bob Prince.
Well, thank you very much, Nellie King, and stay far downwind of me, buddy, or upwind, I guess. I got it, whatever it is. I guess a lot of it's running around, the virus and what have you. They say that one form or another, either a sore throat or a bad headaches. Mine's in the bottom of my lungs, and I'm telling you, every time I go to take a deep breath, I get halfway down and I'm done. Thank goodness the chest x-ray showed what I thought I didn't have. Well, you know what you always worry about, that and emphysema. However, Rick Mundy in at 295. You see, and a left-hand batter, and it's foul back. Sorry, too, to learn of the passing of our friend Van Patrick, the voice of many years of the Detroit Lions. He gave it a very courageous battle, who passed away last night. I'm sure many of you heard him, the voice of Mutual. They're going now. Here's the 0-1 to Mundy. And he hits a drive out toward left. Stargell drifting back. And there's one out. I don't know, Nellie. I don't look at these Chicago Cubs as any patsies by any stretch of the imagination, but I see where some people have been quoted as saying it'd be better off if we were playing Montreal than Chicago. I don't buy that at all. Chicago can beat us because they've wrapped us pretty good, but boy, oh brother, is that Montreal going at them now up there, too.
Well, they need 3 wins to wind up the season at even 500. They're playing the best ball of anybody in the National League in the month of September.
Well, the Cardinals will have their hands full, but we're going to have it here, too, against this club. Here's Kessinger and Keatson high, ball 1. The plate umpires Dutch Renner, Crawford, Kibler, and Tata rounding out this fine crew. Outfield shallow around left. Keatson's delivery in there for a strike. Talk about a guy that really believes in his craft, and this man Renner is the answer. Just spent about 18 years in the minor leagues to get where he is today, and he's a rookie umpire in the big leagues. Ball 1 and strike 1. High, ball 2, and he's all business. With a great umpire down there in Shag Crawford. They're swung left to Kessinger. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the first base coach, J.C. Martin, runs out of the way of that one. Who's coaching third for them now, Nellie? Jim Marshall's managing and coaching there, as I guess Aguirre and Spangler have departed the scene by now.
Well, I think, I know I saw...
Did you see Hank?
I saw Hank here, and then whether Spangler is still, or Ralph Spangler, rather, still around or not.
Well, when they have a new manager, he usually likes to get them in that he has the most confidence in. I guess that's one of the things normally that happens, isn't it?
You pick your own coaches, usually. There are some rare occasions where you don't.
Kessinger, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out and none on. No score. We're underway in the first inning. Here's the 2-2. He struck him out, and the bat flies all the way into the photographer's booth. And our Farts go running out there to make sure that one of those photographers down there is all right. See, there's a booth down below that separates our dugout from the photographer's booth, and the bat went all the way in there. When a batter swings and misses like that, Nellie, most of the times I guess it's, well, his hands could be cold, but normally it indicates he's been fooled on the pitch.
A little bit out in front, I'd say that. Yeah.
Nobody hurt, thank goodness. Well, I'll tell you one thing. Mr. Cold-Blooded Keeson is working. Here's Billy Williams, batting at 278. And in for a strike. They're straight out, a little bit around to the right. Deep is Parker in right field. Foul back. Ooh. I've always, about the best way I can compare, you folks that have ever played golf or watched Slammin' Sammy Snead, I don't know of a better swing in golf than Sam Snead, and I don't know of a better swing in baseball than that of Billy Williams. He just got a sweet swing. Nothing can do it again. Two down. There it is. Base hit to right. Parker comes over fast, and so Williams is on, and here comes Madlock. You think it's cold here? When we get it in touch with KMOX, we'll find out what it is in Montreal, but I guarantee if it isn't snowing, it's got to be 30. It's got to be 30, I would think. Just based on this type of weather, Nellie, I think it would be extremely cold up there.
Yeah, if it's cold here, it usually isn't bathing time up there or getting any suntan.
Here's Billy Madlock, batting at 3-1-3, 9 homers, 52 runs batted in. Right-hand batter has got hit with a pitch right on the left elbow, and my gracious sakes, he's in a lot of pain. That ball just hung right in there. Got him just apparently above the left elbow, and on cold weather, particularly. Now, this is one time Keeson did not want to hit him because this puts Williams up into second in scoring position. That had to hurt, Nellie.
I think the worst thing about it is that, again, it's Keeson's curveball, and when he lacks confidence in that pitch, it's a hard night for him. And if he can start throwing that thing over the plate, and instead of having it spinning up there and backing up on him as that pitch did, why, he's going to have a better night. But that's been a problem for him all season long. He hasn't been able to solve that thing. He has it for a while, and it gets away from him.
Well, there's Jerry Morales, the right fielder, at 272, 15 homers, 81 runs batted in. Now, he struck out Mundy and Kessinger, two left-hand batters, and he gets Williams 0-2, then bingo comes the base hit. Madlock, the right-hand batter, gets drilled on the left elbow, or just above it. And now Morales, the right fielder, standing in. And he has some powers at 15 home runs. 2 men on, 2 men out. Keeson checks, comes to the plate. Low, ball one. This is the second anniversary of Roberto Clemente's 3,000th base hit. Bill Richards has that memorable thing right down at KDK, our flagship station, prepared by John Chiliano. Swing and a miss, 1-1. And when we get the proper moment, he has it all taped up. We'll let you hear throughout the network the last base hit ever struck by the late Roberto Clemente. September 30, 1972. So this is the second anniversary. Here's the 1-1. Low, 2-1. John Chiliano, for many, many years, engineered our flagship station, KDK, who's monitored broadcasts all over the world, has it all spooled up down at the station with Bill Richards. So when we get the chance, when there's a delay in the game without interruption to the play, we'll do it. Stennett comes in to talk to Keeson, who's gone to 3-1 on Morales. You cannot give this club any breathing room. Chicago. Ball 3, strike 1 to Morales, batting at 272. Williams at second, Madlock at first. Here's the 3-1. Pitch beat down slowly toward third. Hebner comes up and overruns the ball. And everybody's safe. I don't know that he's going to get Morales, but in any event, Keeson, who came over to cover at third, was there in the event they had a forced play there. It's going to have to be a base hit as Hebner overran the ball. So they're loaded up to Pete LaCock, and immediately our bullpen is going to see some action. This is Peter Marshall's son. He's the first baseman, batting at 187, 1 homer, 7 runs batted in, and he's a left-hand batter. So with 2 out, the Cubs have 3 on, and without that save right there by Sanguin, we'd have had a wild pitch, and he almost hit LaCock. Ball 1 and no strikes. Gee, 2 were out quickly, and then boom, base hit batsman, and Hebner overruns the ball for a base hit. So we got 3 on. He needs this out desperately. And he throws it low, ball 2, 2-0. Now Don Osborne is coming out. He's going to top. This could be the delay, but we're not going to use it for the Roberto Clemente base hit anniversary. Not at this spot. Osborne's had what he wanted to say in a way of a conversation, and we're eliciting Juan Pizarro. Ball 2 and no strikes. Bases loaded. Batter Pete LaCock, the first baseman. And he throws it short fastball, no advance, ball 3. And Keeson's right on the end of the gangplank. Trying a little bit too hard, maybe right about now. LaCock's had a look to third, and Jim Marshall. 3-0, bases loaded, the pitch. He walked him, and they have a run. So LaCock gets a run batted in, Williams scoring. All this with 2 out when this all started. And now the batter is going to be the catcher, Steve Swisher, batting at 221, 5 homers, 27 runs batted in. If you've wondered what we've missed in the last 4 weeks, the name is Doc Ellis. Pitch. Low, and it's a ball. Wouldn't be in this spot at all. You wouldn't assume you'd be if Ellis hadn't had his hand broken. Pitching in his regular rotation, the way he was pitching, you'd practically have it locked up. All right, the 1-0. And it's beat slowly towards third. It's going to be a fair ball. Hebner steps on the bag for the out, and that retires the side. Thank goodness he got up before the ball hit the bag. 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and they strand 3. We go to the bottom of the first, 1-0 Chicago. All right, Bill Bonham, who's 11-21 on the year, has beaten us twice, 7-3 and 4-3. He's got a great arm. I don't know how he could lose 21 ball games himself. Best wishes to John Solonick, past president of the Western Pennsylvania Golf Association, for his continued recovery in Homestead Hospital. Sergeant Paul Kaminsky and a group from Miami-Pittsburgh District Recruiting Command here rooting for the Bucks. And we'll send get well wishes along to Harry Austin, recovering at home from an eye injury. And best wishes along to Mrs. Hattie Fleming from Newcastle, Pennsylvania. Mom's going to be 100 years old, November 9. How about that? All right, here's Rennie Sennett. He's just been announced as the Player of the Week from last week of September, and let me tell you, he certainly has been that. Rennie batting at 293, 7 homers and 56 runs batted in. Baltimore tonight goes with Grimsley, Detroit with Lolich. They got to play 3, the Yankees got to play 2. They're playing in Milwaukee Tuesday, Wednesday. Bonham's delivery hit foul past first base on Jose Pagan. 1-0 Chicago. Getting ready upstairs up north of us in a little while. Going to be a little club called St. Louis and Montreal. Lazaro continuing to loosen for the Pirates. Hard to believe that Bonham's lost 21 games. He's got a great arm. Slammed down on a big hop to Kessinger. Goes over to LaCock, and there's one away. Cubs lead 1-0.
Third base, number 3, Reggie Hebner.
Richie Hebner standing in now, batting at .297. 18 homers, 67 run batted in. They'll play him a little bit around to right. Bonham works. Hebner takes it over for a strike. Western Pennsylvania School for the Blind. Here taking in the ball game tonight. Most of them listening, of course, on their radios. Bonham to low. 1-1. We're 6-9 with the Cubs. 3-3 here. On the road, they've popped us 6 times out of 9. 1 ball, 1 strike. We got to win at least 2 out of 3 from this club. Because I can't believe that the Cardinals will sweep Montreal. Ball 2, strike 1. No way can I believe that. And the more I think about it, it just seems to me this situation is perfectly set up for the Pirates and the Cardinals to play next Thursday for the championship right here. And I really believe that that's about the way she's going to be. 2-1 pitch. Ball 3. The only difference would be if they win 3 and we lose 1, it's all over. But I don't know that that's going to happen. Don't see how it can happen. Or that we'd win 3 and they'd lose 1. That could happen. But I'll tell you, I don't know. It's so unpredictable. 2-2. 3-2 to Hebner. Low. Kind of hard to figure it all out, isn't it, folks? We're down to a 3-game season. That's what we're down to. Ball 3 and strike 2. 1 out, 1-0 Cubs, first inning. Bonham sends a strike, and Hebner watched it right down the middle. So that's first strikeout for Bonham. And the batter's going to be Al Oliver. Ooh, somebody smoking a big cigar right over to the right. Ugh. Sorry about that, cigar smokers. Comes in the wrong time with the bad billows. Oliver, 318, 11 homers and 85 runs batted in, Texas strike. They play him as a left center hitter. Willie Stargell on deck. Foul tip, strike 2. Williams in left, Mundy in center, Morales in right, with Madlock, Kessinger, Sperring, and LaCock the infield, Bonham and Swisher the battery. No ball, 2-strike pitch. Outside from Bonham, 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 delivery. And Oliver goes down swinging. Bonham has struck out 2 of the 3. So at the end of 1-0 Chicago. Okay, Bob Sperring, Bill Bonham, and Rick Mundy, the scheduled 3 batters in the second. The Cubs on top, 1-0. In the first inning with 2 down, Williams singled. Madlock hit by a pitch. Morales singled past Hebner's third. He overran the ball. Well, I don't think Rich is going to get him if he comes up with it, honestly, but you never know. And then LaCock walked and dove in a run before Swisher bounced to third base for the force out to retire the side. So Bob Sperring, the second baseman, at 202, 1 homer and 4 runs batted in. Jim O'Brien former Pittsburgh writer, now with the New York Post, taking in the series. Fly ball right field, Parker drifting over. Comes on, there's one out. That'll bring up Bonham. So Bill Bonham coming out.
Number 33, Bill Bonham.
Cubs lead 1-0. 1 out, none on in the second. Grounded down toward Stennett. Throws out Bonham. 2 pitchers still away to Mundy, who fly to left field first time up. We'll give a fast cue here in the second and see if we can't get time to play the Roberto Clemente 3,000th hit prepared by John Chiliano when we come back out at the end of this inning.
Rick Monday.
They're going to play Monday to left center. Rick's in with 20 homers. Top foul, and it's off to the left. It'll be out of play. Cubs lead 1-0. 2 down, none on. Second inning. No balls, 1 strike. Keeson ready. Over the plate to the left-hand batter. Called 2. 0-2. Keeson right back. Inside, ball 1. We'll pause for station identification. This is the Pirate Baseball Network.
All the good sports are on Pirate TV, Pittsburgh.
Mundy goes down swinging. That'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the second, 1-0 Chicago.
Well, we're moving right down to the end of another great year of baseball. And about this time, a lot of us start thinking about the playoffs and the series. And I'm sure you'll be glued to the TV and radio no matter what team makes it. And you know one thing you got to have with you is Iron City beer. It's a great beer. Just pop open a big cold bottle of iron and see for yourself. Only the very best ingredients can give a beer that golden color. And only the finest brewing can create a creamy head like that. And a freshly poured glass of iron, well, that's a picture of perfection that every real beer drinker understands. Now, go ahead. Take a sip. A beer that good-looking was meant for tasting. A hearty and tangy flavor, robust and rich as can be. Believe you me, it's pure beer-drinking satisfaction. Yes, sir, that's a great beer. Iron City beer. Now, you make sure you've always got a case of Iron City on hand. Because when you're really ready to pour it on, you can pour on the iron.
Well, we have a little moment here. This is the second anniversary of the date in which Roberto Clemente struck his 3,000th base hit. Let's listen to it right now. Matlack on the 0-1. Bobby hits a drive into the gap in the left center field. There she is. For a double. Papers flying, everybody standing. A double for Roberto. Oh, man. He waves his hat, and shortstop Podolsky comes over to shake hands with him. Everybody standing. Willie Stargell standing in now. As you heard, that most memorable of events, the last base hit by the late Roberto Clemente. Willie fouling back. Bonham working to Stargell here, leading it off. The Cubs don't infield shift him. Bonham delivers. Willie takes it on the corner for a called strike. 1-0 Chicago here in the second inning. Stargell, Parker, and Sangui in the battery. Here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. So we have a full count of 3-2. 2 pitches were balls before we came back on the air. 3-2 pitch. Stargell goes down swinging, and Bonham has struck out 3 in a row. Here's Wes Parker, Dave Parker, batting at .290, 4 homers and 28 runs batted in. They're going to play him straight out and deep in all departments. Cubs lead 1-0. Bonham's curve is flogged down towards Sperring, second baseman up. To LaCock, and they're 2 down. We haven't had a ball out of the infield off this man yet. Now up in Montreal, they're throwing Rogers, who can really pitch, as can Bob Forsch. But Forsch is the rookie that had the tough time and gave up 5 runs to us. And he's in a pressure-packed ball game in Montreal, just getting underway. Forsch and Rogers in the first of 3. And the final 3 that'll determine who goes to play somebody in the West. You could have said at one time for sure the Dodgers. You can't make that statement anymore. Sangui in the batter, 282. Outside and high, ball 1. The Reds, by winning, have kept their faint hopes alive. The Dodgers have got to win 1 game out of 3 from Houston, in Houston. The Reds will finish in Atlanta Tuesday and Wednesday. Here's the 1-0. Down low, ball 2. So if the Dodgers win tonight, it's all over. They're going against Durker with Rao pitching for them. And then it just becomes academic. But one would say, practically, to all intents and purposes, the Dodgers will be the team in the West. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out, none on. It's hit off the end of the bat down toward shortstop Kessinger. Short hop, throws low, and it gets away. And Sanguin will go back into first base. They're going to charge an error to Kessinger. Threw off balance, an underhand submarine type of pitch. LaCock did not hold the ball. So we get our first base runner, and here's Ed Kirkpatrick. The way this thing is going, if it goes right down to the wire, and more particularly this will apply if the Dodgers win tonight, they got a great advantage. They got a whole week to get ready for the championship series. The Cardinals and the Pirates, by just the virtue of the fact they're dead even now, will struggle into whichever one goes into Saturday's game with practically nothing. And it's really a shame to have to settle a whole season with one of the 2 clubs in the East having to go in with a pitching staff that's been worked right to a frazzle against one that probably will have a week's rest. And I don't think I'm oversimplifying that, Nellie.
No, I was kind of against the way they changed it around. Last year, the teams had a week off before they went back to playing. The season ended on Sunday. That's the same thing they had in '71. We took advantage of that with the Giants.
Mm-hmm. They had to pitch another guy.
Marichal.
Yep.
They had to pitch Marichal the final game of the season.
And we missed him.
That's right. We missed him until we came back here.
By that time, we were in good shape. Yes, sir. I wouldn't want to face Marichal the way he pitched against us when he was rested. No balls and a strike to Kirkpatrick. 1-0 Cubs. 2 down, runner at first, Sanguin. He's over the plate, Bonham is at low, 1-1. There isn't any way that this race of ours in the East can be settled at the very outside until tomorrow.
Tomorrow night,
we'd have to lose 2, and they'd have to win 2, or vice versa.
Right.
Ball 1, strike 1. Foul back. I'll tell you, Nellie, the way it sets up, I wouldn't be at all surprised. You and I won't be out here Thursday at 1 o'clock watching the Cardinals play.
We'll be watching the Pirates, too.
Yep.
It's a lot better than not being out here Thursday. And
better believe that.
Until March, I'll tell you that.
You better believe that. Ball 1 and strike 2. 1-0 Cubs. Runner at first, Sanguin on an error. 1-2 to Kirkpatrick. Fly ball popped up second baseman Sperring. We have not hit a ball out of the infield on this gentleman. Mr. Bonham. At the end of 2, we trail 0-1. You know, this game of baseball is full of special sounds, sort of signals that something good is happening. And when a pitch is really bringing it in, well, you can hear it popping leather all over the stadium. Or that unmistakable sound of that fat part of the bat on a leather-high fastball. And you know you can kiss it goodbye. Now, the same is true of beer. There are sounds that say, get ready, you're in for a great treat. Like that clear cracking sound when you pop open an ice-cold can of Iron City beer. It's your signal that you're breaking the thirst barrier. And when you pour it, well, my friend, listen next time to an Iron City beer pouring into your glass. It even sounds rich and full-bodied. And you can watch, too, as that thick, smooth head climbs effortlessly to the top of the glass. Yes, sir, the sights and sounds of an ice-cold Iron City beer are pretty tantalizing. But they're just signals, because taste is the name of the game. And that's where Iron City beer really comes through, with rich, robust, real beer flavor that just won't quit. See for yourself. Pick up a case of 12-ounce cans of Iron City beer. And when you're ready to pour on the iron.
Edward Keeson started off very quickly in the first inning, getting the first two batters, but ran into trouble when Williams singled, Madlock hit by a pitch. Morales hit a swinging bunt single down the left third base side that Hebner couldn't make a play on, and if he did, he really had no play at first. And then a walk forced in the only run of the ballgame. And as Bob said, Bonham's done a job on us in the first two innings, keeping us in the infield. Pirates have got to get the bat going, as they did so well in that Cardinal series and also in the big games in New York, the first three ball games. Kessinger, Williams, and Madlock will bat in the third inning against Bruce. He struck Kessinger out in the first inning a couple of times, throwing his bat into the dugout area. He was so far out in front. Now a switch hitter batting left-handed. They're playing him around to left field, however. The right fielder, Dave Parker, a good 90 feet off the line. The pitch to Kessinger is a fastball on the corner, taking strike one. Bosch and Rogers about ready to get underway up at Jarry Park in Montreal. The 0-1 pitch, up high, a fastball, 1 ball and 1 strike. Baltimore playing tonight, and they do not score in the first inning. They're playing at Detroit. They have a half-game lead over the New York Yankees. Popped up off the third base side, drifting back to Barris into shallow left field. He makes the grab, 1 down. Keeson went to an off-speed pitch, and Kessinger tried to go to left field. Got under the ball for an easy out for Tavares. Coming up, Billy Williams, who has been sidelined for almost 2 months, but back into action here. He's telling Bob and me around the batting cage that it bothers him a bit to run, but no problem swinging a bat. He proved that in the first inning. Change-up, and it's in there, taking strike one. Williams wants to get 3,000 hits. They were trying to trade him last year, but he was one of those guys, been around a while. You had to get his okay before you trade him. He wants to stay in Chicago. At least that's the rumor that went around. Fly ball, shallow right field, coming hard. Parker going back, stunted, and Parker can't make the grab, or did he? He got the ball. A tremendous catch by Dave Parker. It was out of our view. Stennett went back, and Parker, the big guy, was coming like a big old train down the track, and wisely, Stennett gave way to him. And Parker somehow dove for the ball, caught a shoot up, piped, and held onto it. Took a long call for the umpire at second, John Kibler, to make the call. He wanted to make sure that Parker still held onto it. But a great play by Dave Parker. 2 down, nobody on, and Bill Madlock will be the batter. Madlock hit by a pitch in the first inning. Fastball up and in on him, ball 1. Madlock and Ted Simmons had some words, and they threw some fists out in St. Louis. 1 ball, the right side, Rennie Stennett. Good hands. He's got him at first, and Keeson puts him down in order in the second and third innings. Well, we got to get some runs going across here. We'll go to the bottom of the third, and the Cubs lead 1-0. Tavares, Keeson, and Stennett will bat in the Pirates' third inning with the Cubs out in front 1-0. Frank hitting at 247, no home runs, driven in 26. Bonham has allowed only 1 base runner, and that was on an error by the shortstop, Don Kessinger. They have not had the ball out of the infield often in 6 outs. His record, 11 wins, 21 defeats. The pitch by Bonham to Tavares is a curveball away, ball 1. An old saying that you've got to be a pretty good pitcher to lose 21 ball games. They keep running you out there. The 1-0 pitch right on the corner, looked like a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bonham, good size, at 6'3", 195-pounder, age 25, attended UCLA, played some basketball out there. The 1-1 pitch, yeah, he hit him with a fastball, drilled him right on the left hip. That one hurt. I got to tell you, Tavares has got a funny dance going here, but it's not too funny to him. Boy, that one really hurt. Right on the point of the left hip. And that's got to hurt. Yeah, it does. And Tavares being attended to by Tony Barterome, also in to check him. Jose Pagan, Al Murtaugh, and Manny Sanguillen. Boy, he was drilled right on the kind of the left hip, I believe, is where he got hit, or he might have gotten hit a little bit higher up. Tony Barterome attending to him, giving him some smelling salts. And evidently he's going to stay in a ball game. But that one hurt. Well, the Bucks get the lead-off batter on. That'll give Keeson an opportunity to sacrifice here. Tying run at first base. The Cubs out in front by the score of 1-0 on a bases-loaded walk in the first inning. Well, the Orioles won a big game yesterday with 4 walks in the bottom of the 9th inning to win. Ross Grimsley and Lolich going in that game out in Detroit, no score. They're into the bottom of the first inning in Detroit. Baltimore out in the top. Keeson takes the pitch up high from Bonham. Ball 1. Third baseman Bill Madlock is right on top of Keeson. The first baseman, LaCock, is holding the bag on Tavares, and he'd better hold him tight because Tavares has good speed. You give him a chance to run, he'll take advantage of it. The pitch, it is taken down low, ball 2. Keeson making Bonham throw strikes here. He has a record of issuing a lot of walks if you let him throw a little bit. Coolish evening, but a hot tennis race, 56 degrees tonight here at Three Rivers. A look at first, the pitch, and it is taken, strike 1. It is 40 degrees in Montreal, and it's getting colder. Nice to be in the Southland. 16 degrees warmer. And I tell you, 40 up there is cold. It's a little damp. Pitch is inside. Keeson started to go, and he went around. Strike 2. He didn't like that call from Dutch Reynolds, but I got to confess he did give in to the pitch. Started a bunt, but didn't get his bat back in time. It was a very bad pitch. It was off the plate, almost hit Bruce, and for some reason he was going to bunt that ball, and then decided he'd better not, but he didn't make the decision quick enough. Well, he's down to 2 strikes. Tavares at first. Madlock still up at third. The pitch, and it is bunted foul, strike 3. Keeson fails to sacrifice, and holding at first is Tavares. That's a strikeout, the 4th of the ball game for Madlock. Little things like that become very important in a ball game such as this. But Bruce just had some second thoughts about that 2-strike pitch. Rennie Stennett, as Bob told you, was voted the Player of the Week in the National League last season, or last week rather. Hitting at .293, bounced to shortstop to open the ball game. Tavares is first base, and a possibility he might be going now. Look over, he's going. The ball is hit to third base, and they make the play only to first. The out there. The 2-1 pitch, and low, ball 3. Ram an error on that last play all the way around, but I'll recap it for you. Stennett was up at bat. Tavares is running. Ram an error on that last play all the way around, but I'll recap it for you. Stennett was up at bat. Tavares is running. He got the second on the force player, on the play right over the plate. It's the first base, and then went over to third on the throw there and scored on the air. No stolen base at all. Third ball down in there, taken by Ebner, and a full count of 3-2. We're tied 1-1, and the Cardinals lead 3-0. The pitch to Hebner, blown away, ball 4. Well, the Bucks have had 2 base runners here, a hit batsman and a walk in this inning to go along with an error in the second. We're still looking for our first hit, but we got the ball game tied at 1-1. Oliver struck out in the first inning. He's the batter. Throw to first. Hebner back in time. Richie not much of a lead. Hebner takes not much more than 2-3 feet off first base. The pitch to Oliver. Ground ball up the middle, and it's on through. Base hit. Hebner's coming to third. He'll move in easily. Oliver's on at first. Runners at first and third. 2 down, and Willie Straggler stepping in. That is the first ball to get to the outfield, and it just got past second baseman Rob Ferry. Well, the Pirates have an opportunity here for a pretty productive inning if Straggler can get his pitch. Willie struck out on a changeup in the second inning. Cubs defensively have had their problems this year, and it's hurt their pitching a bit, and it became apparent here in the third inning. The pitch to Willie swings and misses. He tried to float out of the park, and he had to be 2 feet out in front of the pitch. Really just trying too hard to pump it out of here. And Bonham had him way, way out in front. Missed a nice little single, Will, to left field. Runners lead, first and third, 2 down, and the pitch. He swings and misses straight through. And that time, Bonham just blew it right by him. Now, somewhere in between those 2 swings is where Willie wants to be. He was out in front in the first one, way behind in the second. Checks Oliver at first base. The 0-2 pitch, low and outside with the fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cubs scored on a bases-loaded walk. And he scored on a hit batsman and a throwing error. The pitch to Willie. High pop-up off the left side. Coming on. Billy Williams, the left fielder, will make the play. And that'll retire the buck. Well, the inning shows 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error. We strand a couple. And we've completed 3, and we've got a tie game 1-1. Pirate Baseball has been brought to you by Iron City Beer. When you're ready to pour on the ice. Now we got a tie game 1-1 into the 4th inning. Morales, LaCock, and Swisher, the 5, 6, and 7 batters to go against Bruce Keeson. Bruce started out a bit shakily, but has settled down, retiring the side in the 2nd and 3rd inning. Morales got a check swing, or actually a swinging bunt single down the 3rd base line to load up the bases in the 1st inning. This fellow, acquired from San Diego, has become a pretty good ball player for the Cubs. Pirates had a lot of good comments to make about him when he was playing center field last year with San Diego. Potentially a good young outfielder. Breaking ball in there, taken by Morales, strike 1. Keeson starts making that pitch. He'll become more comfortable on the mound, and it appears that possibly he's over that 1st inning jitter. The 0-1 pitch, curve, is outside this time. 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1 pitch, ground ball right back to Bruce. He's sure that he's got him at first. Fine play by Keeson. He was spinning off to the first base side, but reacted very quickly on the ball, bouncing up the middle. 2 hard to first for the out. 1 down. It'll bring up 2 shots. He walked with the bases loaded in the 1st inning to drive in the Cubs run. We're tied 1-1 up in Montreal. The Cardinals are out in the 1st. They scored 3 runs and a home run by Teddy Sims. Do you think they're looking at the scoreboard? Fastball is just outside. Ball 1. Keeson thought he had a strike. Base of the 1-0 pitch. Change-up, swing, and a miss, strike 1. Good off-speed delivery by Keeson. The Bucks at one time, 14 games under 509 bats. But what a turnaround. Change-up and a foul off the first base side. Count of 1 and 2. Tie game 1-1. Nobody on, 1 down in the Cubs' 4th inning. The 1-2 pitch underway to LaCock. It's inside. Bends him off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Getting ready in Houston. Durfee to go against Doug Rao. The magic number for the Dodgers. 1. They have clinched a tie for the divisional title. They need a win out of the 3 finals. Win it. Fly ball, foul, hooking out of play down into the Pirates bullpen. And the count holds 2-2. Understand that Sister Mary Owens, Sister of Charity at Resurrection School in Brookline, Pirate fan, has the second-grade children, feeding the birds, cleaning the school grounds, and doing little jobs and offering it up so the Bucks will win. We can hit. That's going to help, I'm sure. Thank you anyway, Sister. I guess everything helps along those lines. Change-up, and it's swung and missed by LaCock, strike 3. That is Keeson's third strikeout. Steve Swisher, the catcher, stepping in. Swing and a miss by Swisher, strike 1. This fella has had some odd ratings. The Pirates thought that he might be a very fine hitter. They didn't think his defensive ability was going to be as good, but he's come on to be a very fine catcher and hasn't hit so well so far this year. But it's his rookie year. Grounds to short, Tavares deep in the hole, throws, dug out, no. Kirkpatrick couldn't hold it. The long throw by Tavares was in the dirt, and Stanky usually comes up with that ball, but not that time. Oh, it's an error charged to Tavares. Made a fine play getting into the hole to get the ball. Had time to throw, but the throw bit up the line on the right field side and in the dirt. Second baseman, Rob Sperring, Sperring, right-handed batter. Fly to right field in the second inning, hitting at 2-0-2. Fouls out of play, strike 1. Well, a belated happy 66th birthday to a guy that's been around watching Pirate baseball for many, many years, Bully Diulis. This is his 53rd year working at either Forbes Field or Three River Stadium. His birthday on the 28th of September. Third ball right there, taken by Sperring, strike 2. Well, Williams has hit a home run with a runner on to give Baltimore a 2-0 lead. They still bat in the second inning. Lolich is gone. Lamanchik has come on. Sperring check swing, and they say he went around, strike 3. They had an appeal play. First base umpire, Shaq Crawford, overruling Dutch Rennert and stating that he went around on it. Keeson picking up a couple of strikeouts. 4 in the ballgame, 2 in this inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error. The Cubs strand 1, and we'll go to the bottom of the 4th, tied 1-1. Pirates, Dave Parker will lead off the 4th inning. He'll be followed by Frank Guillen and Kirkpatrick. 5, 6, and 7 batters to go against Bill Bonham. We sent along a happy birthday to Dave Arbuckle, good friend of Rennie Stennis in Conway, Pennsylvania. Bonham has the best strikeout record on the Cubs staff. He's close to 200, but he's not going to make it this year unless he has quite an outing here. He needs 16 to get 200, and so far he's picked up 4 over the first 3 innings. So he is definitely a promising young pitcher. It's his first really full year in Major Leagues at age 25. Parker on a changeup bounced out to second baseman Sperring in the second inning. Dave hitting at 288. The pitch by Bonham, and it's in there with a breaking ball, strike 1. Tie game 1-1, bottom of the 4th. Swing and a miss, the fastball. He turned over, moved away, and the count of 0-2. Bonham's 0-2 delivery. He chased the pitch in the dirt and somehow hit the ball and stays alive. That ball looked like it hit just in front of the plate, but Parker made contact with it. And the count holds 0-2. Just sitting this one out as Murtaugh's gone to a bit of platooning in the last couple of weeks with Parker and Richie. The count of 0-2 and the delivery. He chopped it off the plate foul, third base side. Bonham almost had the fastball by him. He's mixed up an off-speed pitch with a good curve and a fastball that runs away from left-handed batters, and it's kept them off balance throughout the night here. We've had only one hit, a base hit by Oliver in the third inning. But the score is tied 1-1. The 0-2 pitch, change up, and it's hit off the end of the bat, third base side. The count holds 0-2. In case you're just joining us, the Cubs scored in the first inning on a bases-loaded walk, and the Pirates came back to score in the bottom of the third on a hit batsman and a throwing error. Bonham staring in for a sign from Steve Swisher. Gets it, the 0-2 pitch again, and he swings and misses strike three. I believe. Did he go around? No, they said he didn't. Third base umpire, Terry Chata, says no, he didn't go around. His body went around, but they say he didn't swing. Pitch was in on him, and he tried to check the swing and get away at the same time. The 1-2 pitch. Fouled it again. On an off-speed delivery on the end of the bat. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, Parker's making him work here. And hopefully he can get a pitch he can handle. Pirates went down to the final day last season. As a matter of fact, we had to go overtime to make up a ball game with San Diego. The 1-2 pitch. He is right there, strike three. Parker stopped looking. That's the 5th strikeout. Bonham came right down the chute with a fastball, and Dave, looking for something else, is stopped looking. The Cardinals are out in the second. They lead 3-0 behind Bob Porsche and a 3-run homer by Ted Simmons in the first inning off Steve Rogers. Mets have got to win 3 down here. That's the general feeling. Frank Ian stepping in. Manny got on by an error. The shortstop, Kessinger's throw is bad. Bounced up the middle. Kessinger behind second. Wheel throws. He's got him at first base this time. 2 down. Nobody on, 1-1. Score, bottom of the 4th. Kirkpatrick up for the second time. Popped up to second baseman Sparing in the second inning. Eddie batting at .251. 6 home runs, given in 36. Bonham with a off-speed delivery up high, hangs it up there. 1 ball and no strikes. The windup in the 1-0 pitch. He's in there, breaking ball, strike 1. Cubs earned run average way up there, 4.28. But as I said, they have pitched well against the Pirates. They have beaten us 9 games. Fastball just down low, 2 balls and a strike. Bonham, with 35 starts, has had 9 complete ball games, 2 of them shutouts, and an earned run average 3.91. Swing and a foul right at the foot of Steve Swisher on the count of 2-2. We looked at a guy yesterday that hadn't been too successful this year, Bob Apodaca, but he made the pitches and had good stuff yesterday. The youngster won his 5th ball game in a starting role. He was 5-1 as a starter. He has some thoughts about pitching him in relief anymore. The 2-2 pitch to Kirkpatrick, way up high, ball 3. Full count of 3-2. Nobody on base in the Pirates' 4th inning, tied 1-1. Severus waiting on deck. Up in the payout pitch, Daddy. Ground ball at second base. Easy play by Sparing. That'll take care of Kirkpatrick. The Pirates get down and order in the 4th. Well, we're completed 4 and we're tied 1-1.
The Skates and Sticks have been silent all summer long, but on Saturday, October 5th, they'll spring to life. Penguins! Hi, this is Mike Lang, voice of the Penguins, inviting you to join KDKA for exciting Penguins hockey. We'll face off with the Philadelphia Flyers on October 5th for an exhibition game, and we'll be with the Pens all the way to the playoffs. Don't miss the fastest sport in the world. Penguins hockey beginning October 5th on KDKA.
1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1. Hi, this is Gary. Number 1. If your inspection sticker has the number 1 on it, It's time to have your car inspected.
Do you know the number on your inspection sticker? If your Pennsylvania inspection sticker is number 1, now's the time to get your car inspected. Remember, do it now, before your number's up.
Yes, stickers for stickers.
The fifth inning for the Cubs, it'll be Bill Bonham, Rick Mundy, and Don Kessinger to go against Keaton in a tie game 1-1. Bonham bounced to the second baseman, Sanderson, his first time up. And once again, here's that.
Okay, Nellie, old buddy. Why don't you go in and get warm and visit with Elroy Face? The old Elroy formed a new company, Nellie, called Elroy Face Interiors. He's quite a carpenter, you know.
Very
He did something for you, didn't he? You and Bernie?
Well, he did...
No awnings or something?
Yeah, did something for Maserati. I don't get a fine job.
He could make game rooms. He maintains the fact that he was a carpenter. But that's one of the reasons why he had such a strong run. This is Bonham, bounced out to second. Right. Baltimore scored 5 in the second inning. So they lead 5-0 at Detroit. They're leading by a half game. Pitch, struck him out swinging. So that's 4 strikeouts for the whip. Here's Rick Mundy, fly to left and struck out. And the 2 Cardinals lead Montreal 3-0 on a 20th home run popped by Teddy Simmons. Bush and Rogers. We're tied up here 1-1, 1 out. Nobody aboard. 5th inning. There's a ball line to Tavares. 2 out. You're just tuning in. I'll apologize. If we hit a grand slam home run, you ain't going to hear any rooting from this end. I'll let Nellie do all of that. The Billows ain't pumping like they ought to. Kessinger, 0 for 2, struck out and popped to short. We scored an unearned run on the hustle of Frank Tavares. Ground ball down to second, Stenick throws out Kessinger. We go to the bottom of the 5th, tied up 1-1.
Goodwill Industries have changed. Years ago, handicapped people were considered social rejects. Today, Goodwill Industries of Pittsburgh has changed that by giving the handicapped a chance to prove they can do any job. KDKA urges you to support Goodwill by calling 481-9000.
See Pittsburgh dancing when the Pittsburgh Ballet Theater presents its 74-75 season in Heinz Hall. Join them and the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra in the fabulous world of dance. Subscribe now and see Giselle, Gay Parisienne, Nutcracker, Swan Lake, and Romeo and Juliet. Subscriptions available for Friday evening, Saturday evening, or Sunday matinee. One of them is tailor-made for you. Subscribe by calling 281-0360.
Tavares hit by a pitch, came around to score, then Keystone and Stennett here in the 5th inning. You know, if you're thinking about what to buy somebody for Christmas, Pirates have a great gift certificate idea. They're sold in any denomination and be redeemed for Pirate season tickets or individual game tickets. They make a great, great Christmas gift, or birthdays or any occasion. Why don't you call the Pirate office at Free River Stadium for all the info at 321, check that, 323-1000. Here's Tavares. And Bonham on a 1-hitter working. Tavares belts it to the shortstop, Kessinger. LaCock, 1 out. Another batter will be Keeson, struck out in the third, trying to bunt. Cardinals lead 3-0. We're tied up 1-1. See how simple it is. We just got to win. Breaking ball from bottom outside, ball one. We had a great road trip, winning 2 out of 3 from the Cardinals and 3 out of 4 from the Mets. 1 ball, 1 strike. Houston takes it low, ball 2, 2-1. Bill Bonham, he's lost 21 games, and I don't know how. I'll tell you, this guy is, I think he could be a great pitcher. He's got a great arm. He didn't like that last call outside 3-1. Three balls and a strike. Bottom ready to Keeson. Has sent another one in this time. Now 3-2. Keeson called out of the box by Skinner. Now turns around and takes a look there. 1 out and none on in the 5th inning. Score tied 1-1. Here's the 3-2 pitch. He walked him, by golly. That's the second walk by Bonham. Brings up Stennett, who's over 2. Grounded to short. Bounced out to third. Dodgers are out in the 1st inning at Houston. Durker pitching there against Rao. Dodgers need to win 1 of 3, and it's all over. Cardinals are out in the 3rd. They lead 3-0. Montreal now batting against Force. Pitch. Sent it foul. Strike 1. No balls, 1 strike. Bonham works, almost hits Stennett, knocks him flat. 1-1. He out comes. He's claiming he got hit on the left arm. Barterom and Murtaugh coming out to argue with the plate umpire, Renner. And he's saying, no, it didn't hit him. Renner, that says no. So that's over with. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tied 1-1. Bonham checks his runner, Keeson. The pitch. Weak foul. 1-2. I won't say who, but somebody came up to me and said, well, you're not well, huh? I'm sorry to hear that. In fact, you don't look very well. Your coloring is bad. That's about the worst thing you can ever say to anybody. Bang down to Matlock. He's up with it to 1 on the 1st, and they get a double play. Well, we go to the 6th. Tied up 1-1. You know, of course, your host is your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer. We got immediate delivery on America's #1 selling compact. Houston just starting to loosen up, so while we have a moment, let's take 20 seconds for our local stations.
Now more than ever, the Liberty Cubes are a mess. So now is the time to call on the commuter computer. If you're still trying to figure a way to and from Pittsburgh, have your employer contact the commuter computer to get you moving.
The computer.
right here, sweet swinging with Billy Williams. Followed by Madlock and Morales. He singled in the 7th with 1 out. In the 1st with 1 out. Well, take that back with 2 out. Then he went to 2nd when Madlock was hit by a pitch, and Morales got an infield single, and LaCock walked with the bases loaded. And they got their run. Ball to him. Hart scored in the 3rd when Taveras hit by a pitch. Keeson struck out trying to bunt. And with Stennett batting, Taveras took off for second base. 1-0. Ball. Well, they got the out all right, and then when the throw from 3rd went over to 1st for that out on Stennett, Taveras moved for 3rd. And they threw wild, LaCock did, trying to pick him off 3rd. He came in to score. Bouncer down to Stennett, short hop. Williams is out. So that's how we tied it on the hustle by Taveras. Here's Bill Madlock, hit by a pitch, grounded out to 2nd. Keeson and Bonham locked in a wheel of a duel, tied up 1-1. Baltimore annihilating the Tigers. Madlock at strike. I mean, they're just racking them to a fizzle. Madlock swings on the slider, and his bat goes flying in behind him. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, 1-1 score in the 6th inning. Pitch to Madlock. It slammed into left center. It's going to be a base hit. He got a hit on an 0-2 curveball. So Madlock is on. And here's Jerry Morales. Morales got that swinging bunt down 3rd in the 1st inning, went out pitcher to 1st in the 4th. That's the 3rd hit. Swing, if he'd hit that, he'd have scalped it. Keeson checks his runner. And there's a ball hit up off the plate. Keeson goes back for it. Has to go to 1st to retire Morales as Madlock moves into 2nd unmolested. Here's Pete LaCock. He walked the drive in a run. He struck out swinging in the 4th. You got to get him out, I'm telling you right now. Left-hand batter. I wish his father were up at the plate. Well, they're going to walk him. Go to Swisher. It'll be the 2nd walk. Works out playing every percentage in the book here. You got to. Lead 3-0 on a home run by Simmons after 3 innings of play. The way things are going, Baltimore will go to bed tonight, and they'll be leading by 1 full game each. Then the Baltimores and the Yankees will have 2 remaining. Now Steve Swisher in. Bounced into a force play, got a board on an error. Runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 down the pitch. Popped him up. Stennett dropping back. And I'll tell you one thing, since the 1st inning, Keeson's really come on with his control. No runs are hit, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Let's quit fiddling around out here and get some runs. 1-1.
Hi, this is your old superstar, Mean Mary Jane. And I'd like you to give a listen to some news from your Chrysler Plymouth dealer. With any money in your pocket.
Thank you, Mary Jean. You're right. because money is what this message is all about. Right now, it's year-end clearance time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. That means he's tagging every 74 car in stock with a year-end price. Year-end prices on his 8 great small car buys, including Valiants, Dusters, and Scamps, America's best-selling line of compact cars. Year-end prices on his mid-size Satellites and full-size Furies and Chryslers. Prices to move them and move them out fast. Because your Chrysler Plymouth dealer knows it costs him more to keep them than to sell them. So if you have to get the most out of every dollar you spend, and who doesn't nowadays, the place to buy that new car is at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
You can really clean up on a great year-end deal at your Pirate Land Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Gene Heiser has gone to left field in place of Billy Williams. I don't know whether Billy's hurt or what. I hope he's all right. I don't think you could ever say, if you've been listening to my broadcast, Billy Williams has been one of my all-time favorite ball players. I just think he's an unbelievable performer. Has been down through the years. Never a rumple of anything out of him, ever. Just does his job. Fine gentleman. And a great, great baseball player. What I think one of the real picture swings in all of baseball, Billy Williams. Well, now we got Hebner, Oliver, and Stogel. Let's quit begousing around, as the late Rosie Roosevelt said, and get some points up there and get this thing over with. Hebner struck out and walked, standing in. Bonham works to him. He sends his curve low. We've only had one hit. That was Oliver's single. You know something? That's the only ball we've hit out of the infield through 5 innings off Bonham. 1-0. Missed his fastball away. 2-1. Give me 4 runs so I can get up and go home and go to bed. Let the healthy young body of Nellie King hang in here. 2 balls, no strikes. And the 2-0 pitch. Ball 3. What'd you say, Rich? Detroit got 2, but that's too late. 6-2 Baltimore. About the 4th or 5th inning. 3-0 to Hebner. Bonham throws the strike. 3-1. Come on, gang, win some. I want to broadcast the playoffs for you. I don't want to have to do it to Los Angeles and St. Louis. Heck with that coast-to-coast stuff. Let me just have my own little network. Ground ball up the left side. Kessinger smothers it. Throws him out. Cardinals are out in the 4th. Here's Oliver, the only hit of the ball game, the only ball out of the infield off Bonham. Single in the 3rd inning. The ball just got by sparing. There hasn't been one outfield put out, my friends. Heiser, Mundy, and Morales the outfield. Billy Williams having been replaced out there. There's a ball hit deep to center. Rick Mundy's not going to catch it. It's going to be bouncing off the wall, and it's going to be a double for Super Scoop. Say what you want. He's been the guy day in and day out that's done the job for Pittsburgh. Al Oliver. You got to say in the last 2-3 months. You don't minimize anybody, but you're going to single anybody out, it's been Oliver, and you got to say something about Mr. Stennett too, because he has been some ball player. Now Willie Stogel struck out and fly to left. I think I said earlier there hadn't been any ball hit in the outfield. I'm wrong. Stogel's the only guy to hit one out to Billy Williams in the 3rd. That's our 2nd hit with 1 out. 1-1 ball game in the 6th. Play ding-a-ling, Wilbur, so I can relax. Bonham took a lot of time, so he steps out. And while he does that, let's pause for station identification in the Pirate Baseball Network. Okay, here we are. Stogel the batter. Pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 1. He's trying to hit it out of here a mile. Come on, Will. Go back to that. Just meeting it. Hit one off to the left side for a single. Get that lead run in, Wilbur. Here's the 0-1 from Bonham. Inside, 1-1. I don't know how Bonham can lose 21 games. He really has a fine arm. I guess they didn't score many runs for him. I guarantee you there isn't a club in baseball wouldn't like to have him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swing, strike 2. Took a little off it. Wilbur out in front of it. The Cobra's on deck. Dave Parker. Ball 1 and strike 2. Oliver off second to pitch. Stadio goes down swinging. That's 6 strikeouts. Parker grounded to second, struck out.
I think there are 3 pitchers who have lost 20 games in this league. Randy Jones, Steve Rogers, and this guy. And you're right, I think any ball club in the league, you take either or all 3 of those guys. Or any one of them.
I'll tell you one thing, he sure had Wilbur going on some sinking stuff, and he changed up on him. Well, it's tied up 1-1 here in the bottom of the 6th. And Oliver with 1 out trying to get it going. That was the only 2 hits in the ball game. He doubled over the head of Mundy off the board. The Cobra just dingling one. Don't try to kill it, David. Just try to meet it. Foul back. Three to nothing Cardinals. Mets are batting in about the 4th inning. Home run Simmons, 2 aboard. Porsche and Rogers. 1-1 here in the 6th inning. 2 down, Oliver at second. 0-1 count to Parker. Now Bonham ready to pitch. Swing, and there's that sinking pitch. Boy, he's got a good one tonight. Strike 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Now the 0-2 pitch. Jammed him. Hits it weakly down to first base. LaCock is up. Lobs it over just in time for the out. To Bonham covering. No runs, a hit, no errors, and 1 left into 6 innings. We're tied up 1-1.
Hello, me, Mary Jean, our superstar. Tell them about our Chrysler Plymouth car.
Sure will, fellas. I'm going to tell them about 8 great small car buys that are even better buys at cleanup time.
Please tell us some more.
Okay, your Chrysler Plymouth dealer has Dusters and Valiants and Stamps, and they're all going at great cleanup prices.
We want to hear it all.
Listen, did you know that America's #1 selling contracts come from Plymouth? That's right. Same Valiants and Dusters and Stamps are America's favorite, so you know they gotta be good. And when you can get them at a cleanup price, that's terrific. 8 great superstar buys. Know what I mean?
Thank you, Team Mary Jean, for coming through. That's why we love you.
Come on in for a great deal on America's #1 selling small car at your Piratland Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
You can now get an official Pirate team picture at your Piratland Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Baseball has been brought to you by your Piratland Chrysler Plymouth dealer. Your host now is Joy, nature's high-protein food for dogs. Higher in protein, and it still costs less than most other brands. The leadoff batter in the 7th inning for Chicago in a tie game 1-1 will be number 8 hitting Bob Sterling, the second baseman. He's 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. Keeson got him to fly to right field in the 2nd. Right-handed batter. The pitch by Keeson. It's a curveball that hung inside, ball 1. The 1-0 pitch Ground ball, the right side. Running Spencer to his right, a step or two. Throws him out at first, and that'll retire Spencer. Well, Bruce, after a 21st inning, when he retired the first two batters and then gave up a bases-loaded walk, has really settled down and pitched a whale of a ball game. Bill Bonham, the pitcher, 0 for 2, bounced to second, struck out in the fifth. The Pirates 1 run on 2 hits and 1 error. The Cubs 1 run on 3 hits. They've committed 2 errors. Bonham takes a pitch down low, a breaking ball. It hung inside, ball 1. Rick Mundy waiting on deck. Keeson back with a pitch. Ground ball right back to Bruce. He's got him at first base. Good fielding play by Keeson. That's the second good play he's made. That'll bring up Rick Mundy with nobody on base and a tie game 1-1. Mundy back to talk to Don Kessinger. These fellas are the veterans on the ball club. Mundy, Kessinger, and Williams. Williams out of the lineup now. The rest of these guys are around for their first season. For most of them. A little bit of a negative statistic there for you in case you're interested. Luke Quay reminding that Willie Stargell's strikeout was his 100th strikeout. Here's a pitch underway to Mundy. First ball hitting a high fly to left field. Stargell limping under it. His knee bothering him. He makes the grab in shallow left field. And Keeson has another 1-2-3 inning. Yeah, we got to get some runs scored here. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th, tied 1-1.
Is your dog getting enough protein? You know, protein is a vitally important nutrient in every balanced ration for man's friend. Joy, nature's food for dogs, contains 25% protein in both its kibble and chunks of joy. Furthermore, Joy, this nourishing food for dogs, is a scientific blend of grains and meat solids that provides your dog with a nutritious diet that will contribute to his good health and habits. So compare labels when you shop for dog food. You'll find Joy's 25% protein content to be higher than most of its competitors. For Joy contains dehydrated meat value equivalent to 60% fresh meat and is fortified by Joy's exclusive double-roasted toasted process. So today, fill your dog's feeding bowl with that high-protein, scientifically balanced dry dog food and watch him jump for joy. That's Joy, nature's food for dogs, with 25% protein. You'll find Joy dog food at your Stop and Go, FGA, and Maricini's markets.
Well, the Pirates in the tie game 1-1 into the final 3 innings here will send up Sagian, Kirkpatrick, and Tavares in the 7th inning. The faithful here of 10,482 standing up for the 7th inning stretch. And Feingold back at Three Rivers. He hadn't missed any games this year. Sanguian 0 for 2. Bunts off the third base side. A good play, and the pitcher won't make the play. Madlock can't make it. Sanguian's on at first. That is a base hit for Manny Sanguian. Well, we got something going. Madlock came charging in from third base, and the pitcher, Bonham, on his follow-through, fell off to the first base side. He tried to recover. The ball was just about 5 feet from the edge of the cut of the mound on the third base side. He couldn't make the play, and Madlock tried to pick it up barehanded. Couldn't find the handle. It's a single, and it brings up Kirkpatrick. Sankey 0 for 2 has popped to the second baseman and grounded out weakly to him. LaCock holds at first base on Sanguian. And the pitch. He's going. The ball is lined to right field, and it's back towards Morales. He makes the one-handed grab, and Sagian hustles back to first base. Kirkpatrick hit the ball well, but did not get it on the ground like he wanted to, I'm sure. It was Sagian going, but he hit it well to the right fielder. Morales started in, then went back quickly, and made a one-handed grab on the warning shot. That's the best of his ball, other than Oliver's ripping shot, as Bob described, off the wall in center field for a double. Pirates will go to the bench for a pinch hitter. Richie Zisk will pinch hit for Frank Tavares. Pirates have activity in their bullpen. John Moreland or Dave Justin? I think it's Dave Justin. It is Dave Justin. Mertz Kershaw making his move here. Runs have been hard to come by. Yesterday in New York, we had only one earned run. And so far tonight, trying to get one. And our run came on an error in the third inning. As Barnum has done a job, he's allowed only 3 hits. And one of those, a bunt single to open up this inning by Sanguine. Oliver's had the only other 2 hits. This hitting at 312, 17 home runs. He's driven in 99. He'd like to make it 100. How about 101? This pitch at the knees taken, strike one, a fastball. The ball gets away, but it's thrown off the third base side. Madlock didn't come up with it, but Sanguine had to hold. Swisher tried to throw the ball back to the mound, had it stick in his hand or something, and it bounced out in front of the plate, trickled down toward the hole at shortstop, and Madlock came up to field the ball. He bobbled it, and Sanguine really didn't have any chance to move in there. 1-1 the score. The Cardinals lead 3-0. The 0-1 pitch. The score. The Cardinals lead 3-0. The 0-1 pitch. Blowing away, it's into the backstop, and we've got a runner into scoring position. Sanguine gets into second base. This, the count on him, is a ball and a strike. Keeson is the on-deck batter, and we'll see how Jim Marshall plays here with first base open and only 1 out. That is a wild pitch, allowing Sanguine to move into scoring position. Call as Jim Marshall wants to talk this over. As I mentioned, we are loosening Dave Justy. The count is 1-1 on this. Baltimore is bombing Detroit 9-2. They're in the bottom of the 4th inning at Tiger Stadium. Lolich started, Lamanchik in the 2nd, Holsworth in the 4th. We've got the opportunity here. Let's pause 20 seconds for our local station.
The Pirates have put in a great season, and the Bucks have brought it down to the wire. Now let's show the Bucks we're with them all the way to the playoffs, to the series, too. After all, KDKA thinks Pirate baseball is a series business. Beat 'em, Bucks!
The Cardinals did not score in the 5th inning. They lead going into the bottom of the 5th, 3-0. A 3-run homer by Ted Simmons in the 1st inning, forced against Steve Rogers. They have a long decision out there, whatever they're going to do. It has to be rather profound with all the time they've taken. Can't be that profound. They're either going to walk him or pitch to him. They're loosening Dave Justy. Keeson is on deck. And we'll see what they're going to do. It appears that they're going to pitch to Richie Zisk. The count of 1-1. They may just try to make him chase something if he wants to. It's coming inside on him. And it's in there, taken by Zisk, strike 2. Pull the trigger, Rich. And get that hammer back and let it go. Sanguine at second base. He's the go-ahead run in a tie game. The pitch underway to this. It is low and away. 2 balls, 3 strikes. Richie's driven in 4 runs in pinch hitting roles. 3 hits and 8 times at bat. He needs one here. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive, center field, but it's in the ballpark, I believe. Back is Mundy, going. He can't get it. It's off the wall. Sanguine scores. Zisk is at second. He's coming to third. There's a play there. No, they don't make it. Pirates lead 2-1. That RBI, number 100 for Richie Zisk. And what a time to get it. The Pirates lead 2-1. And, Bob, it gives Murtaugh a chance to let Keeson go.
Yes, it surely does. With only 1 out, he can let him take a whack at it. And we're going to have a runner now for Richie Zisk. Is going to be Dave Augustine. I got to say one thing, Nellie. That's a ball that should have been caught. Rick turned the wrong way. And having played the game like you did, you know that as this comes in with a standing ovation, Ball hit directly at you in the outfield is the toughest one. When it's hit to your left or your right, you can slide on it. But right over your head, it's difficult. But I think that ball jumped on him, but I'd have to believe that Rick would be the first to tell you that he should have had it. Thank goodness he didn't now.
I'm glad he didn't. I tell you, he's a good outfielder, and I would have to assume that he might have had some problems.
Lights or something. And the ball might have jumped on him. I think it took off a little bit.
It was a well-hit ball. There was no doubt about it. It was in the ballpark, and he got a pretty good jump on it, but he was back on the warning track, and he didn't have good position to catch the ball. He was going away, turning around, trying to make the catch, and he misjudged it. The infield up now with Keeson set to bat. They're looking for a possible squeeze. Bruce swings and misses, strike one. Buster, as they call him, trying to pick up an RBI. He hasn't had one this year. Augustine with good speed at third base. Pirates lead 2-1 with one down in the seventh inning. The pitch by Bonham, and it is swung on and missed, strike two. Bruce didn't have a good cut at all. That's him. He takes a look at Bob Skinner. Stennett waiting on deck. But Richie Zisk with a triple, his 100th RBI of the year. And it comes at a big time for the Pirates. Gives them the lead. The pitch, they squeeze, and it's swung and missed, and they've got a rundown play. Augustine in a rundown. Madlock's going to chase him, and he tags it. Well, the out goes 2-5 on the play, and Keeson, for the second time in this ball game, fails in a bunting attempt. He strikes out, and they get the double play. Well, we get one run on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left. Well, we've completed 7. The Pirates lead 2-1.
Here's a tip from the old gunner on how you can get the most for your food dollar. Be one of the many families who have switched to Super Dollar Markets. Super Dollar Markets have joined the fight against inflation. You'll find high-quality meats, the very freshest of produce, and a wide selection of well-known national and local brands. All at prices that make your dollar have more sense. There's always a great plus for Super Dollar customers that's sometimes hard to find in most other large food markets. It's that wonderful, friendly feeling of welcome that puts you at ease the moment you walk through the door. Super Dollar folks are people who like people, and you can take it from the old gunner. They'll do everything they can to help you make that hard-earned dollar go a little further. Super Dollar Markets are staffed with friendly people who know they can serve you better and save you more. So see for yourself. There's a lot of savings waiting for you at all Super Dollar Markets. The inflation fighters, where your dollar has more sense and who serve you better and save you more. Start your food shopping at Super Dollar Markets this week and feel the difference. Well, now we have Mario Mendoza at short for the Pirates. The Cubs are coming with Kessinger, Heiser, and Madlock. We haven't heard any announcement why Billy Williams was replaced in left field unless Billy's been injured. Certainly hope not. There's no score at the end of 2.5 in Houston with the Dodgers. And so they got Cardinal on deck, so they're going to... He was. But Heiser's the batter that's scheduled up. Second. All right, Kessinger, switch batter, is 0 for 3, struck out, popped to short, bounced to second. That squeeze try on a 1-ball, 2-strike count was a good time to try it. But Bruce didn't make contact. He sort of chopped at the ball. You got to turn around and just...
You got to make contact.
You got to make contact. Otherwise, the guy coming in from third is a dead duck, and he was, Augustine. Pitch to Kessinger. Low, ball 1. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Well, it's not as easy to bunt as you might think, but the thing you got to do on a suicide is you must get the bat on the ball somehow or other. If you foul it off while the runner goes back and you're out for the strikeout. 2-0 the count.
Well, I hope Bruce doesn't let this bother his pitching. He shouldn't. You got to get that thing goodbye in.
That's right. You got to forget about it if you can. It's like shooting a triple bogey after 6 straight pars. There's a strike. The next time up on the 8th hole, you can't be through worrying about the triple bog. Easier said than done, isn't it?
What, 6 straight pars?
Yeah. No, not for you. 2-1. Foul away. Triple bog for me. Yes. Easy. Cardinal's coming out. I guess he's going to bat in place of Heiser. I don't know. Heiser's still down there. We'll wait and see. Ball 2, strike 2. Marshall makes more moves than Hindu Wasu. He's had about 197 pitching changes since he became the manager. Shudder to think what he'd do all of next year. 2-2. Ball 3. Full count to Kessinger, leading off the Cub 8. And he flies it out toward left field, and Stargell, 1 out. I want to tell you something. We haven't exactly beaten Mr. Bonham to death here. Now, Heiser is the scheduled batter. They're going to bring up Cardinal instead. So Cardinal standing in at 293 with 13 homers, 71 runs batted in, a right-hand batter. 1 out, 2-1 Pittsburgh in the 8th inning. Well, I guess we better drive for 3, hadn't we? 5 is gone. Forget that. 3 out of 5. Let's just drive for 3. Think positive. Win these 3, and we can't have anything worse than there's a tapper back to Bruce, backhands it. Throws him out too. We win these 3, Nellie. There's one thing we know for sure. We're either going to play the Dodgers on Saturday or we're going to play the Cardinals on Thursday. That's simple enough logic.
Got to be a dead cinch for that. That's right. And that's
a fortiori
statement, and we will,
as they say in Latin, a fortiori. Therefore, it thus follows. Madlock, 1 for 2. Watch this guy now, Brew. Bouncer to short, Mendoza. Throws, and that's all. Down they go in the 8th. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. 2-1 Pittsburgh.
Hello, everybody. This is Mike Lang, voice of the Penguins, with an invitation to get the best seat in the house at the Civic Arena. Now's your chance to get a full or partial season ticket to see the exciting Pittsburgh Penguins. In the winter of '74, the Penguins have a ticket plan that's made for every fan. Season tickets, as you know, guarantee the seats that you want, and you have the option to buy the tickets for the playoffs. If you'd like the partial season ticket plan, you can choose your own seat, get a discount rate on parking, plus pick the 20 games that you want to see. To take advantage of the partial season ticket plan, this reminder, you must place your order by October 1st. So stop at the Penn's office at the Civic Arena or phone 281-0555. The number again, 281-0555. From the opening face-off to the Stanley Cup playoffs, you can see it all. And get the best seats in the house for the best hockey on ice with the Penguins full or partial season ticket.
See Sunday's Pittsburgh Press for convenient season ticket application.
All right, Cardinal has gone to left field. Nellie and I were talking. When Marshall went out to chat, he brought up Zisk to bat for Frank Tavera with first base open. Marshall stayed out there a long time, and Nellie and I were trying to figure out what it was he was talking about. If he said throw him something bad, if he hits it, why, all right, put him on, I don't care, because then he'd have to hit for Keeson. He didn't say that, apparently. There's Bennett driving into left center and Mundy going over. It's kind of an odd bit of play there, wasn't it, Nellie, there in that 7th inning?
yeah, with a guy that's a pretty solid hitter like this. But I guess he figured Bonham is pitching so well, a right-handed batter, that he could get him out. But
that's the case, then why go out and talk to him?
Yeah, that's true, too.
Ebner struck out, walked, and bounced to short. We lead 2-1.
I'm glad things developed as they did.
Oh, you've done a magnificent job, well, buddy. You scored in the 3rd, you scored in the 7th. Ball 1 high. If this is the way they supported Bonham, I can understand why he only has 11 victories and 21 defeats.
This ball club will score some runs, though. You better give Keeson a little bit of credit for tonight's pitching.
Yes, sir. Ever in low. 2-0 to Hebby. Yep, after that first inning, I wouldn't have given you a nickel in the first inning the way Keith was going. Struck out the first, got a fly ball and a strikeout. Then he got a single, a hit batsman a single, and he walked with the bases loaded. LaCock. Hebner pops into left center, coming on Mundy hard. And out of his cap, but under the ball. 2 out to Oliver, who is not given in at all tonight. Outside of the first inning, he then gone on to single and double. Pirates lead 2-1 here in the 8th. Cubs' 9th inning have Morales, LaCock, and Swisher, the scheduled 3 batters. We play again tomorrow night at 7:30. Win this one, we'll go to bed tied. Plus Montreal in the bottom of the 6th and a couple innings left can rally. It's 3-0 Cardinals. Oliver a swing. 3-run homer by Simmons in the first inning off Rogers. And thus far, young Force is making it stand up. No balls and a strike. What is that, a sinker?
A curveball.
Yeah.
It goes a good overhand. Yeah, it's dropping right off the top. He comes over top with it.
0-2 pitch. Sliced to left and cut it out. That'll do it. So at the end of 8, Pittsburgh on top, 2-1. When you need a brake job, make sure you get new brake shoes, too. Now, how do you do that? Well, the surest way is to ask for Delco brakes. Because with Delco brakes, you always get new shoes as well as new linings. Delco brake shoes are properly shaped and finished at the factory, and they've been treated with a special rust inhibitor. Now, the lining on Delco brake shoes also has a unique feature called Crown Ground Finish. This special finishing process makes the break-in period easier for you because it lets the lining shape itself quickly to the drum. They're engineered to prevent pulling to the right or the left during break-ins. So if you're in a car right now and those brakes don't feel just right, stop at the red, white, and blue Delco sign. The more you know, the more you'll want Delco. Available at Calibro Tire Service, 1476 Bower Hill Road in the South Hills. Lockhart Tire Incorporated, 507 Lockhart Street on the north side, and Homestead Automotive Supply, 846 Forest Avenue in West Homestead.
Well, Bruce Keeson, 3 outs away from picking up his 9th win of the year, and he's going to face Jerry Morales, the right-handed batter, Pete LaCock, the first baseman, left-hander, and then the catcher, Steve Swisher. The way Bruce started, as Bob mentioned, in the first inning, walking in the run with the bases loaded, you had to wonder how long he was going to be around. But hard to tell what's inside a guy, and this fellow's proved it ever since he's been up here in 1971 as a rookie. Morales has had a single in the first inning. A swinging bunt down the third base line, tapped to the mound in the 4th and the 6th. Takes the pitch inside, ball 1. They're through 6 in Montreal. The Cardinals making the 3-run homer by Ted Simmons in the first inning stand up 3-0. Taking ball in there at the knees, taken by Morales. 1 ball and 1 strike. And a special load as Grady Roberts Sr., good Pirate fan listening in Garfield. The 1-1 pitch. Inside, almost hit him. Morales backing off to count 2 balls and a strike. Big out in the first inning. Or in the 9th inning is that first batter up. Keeson trying to nail it here. The 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Sharp curveball. Tom Walker has replaced Rogers in the 7th inning. Dodgers are out at Houston through 3, no score. The 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right back to Keeson. He's got him for the 3rd straight time. 1 down. Keeson on the night has nailed Morales 3 times in a row on tap back to the mound. He got Cardinal in the 8th inning. Pete LaCock, a left-handed batter, walked in the 1st to drive in a run with the bases loaded, struck out in the 4th, and drew an intentional walk in the 6th inning. This fella, good left-handed batter with good power. Keeson, ground ball right side center, picks it up, makes a fine play. He's got him at first. Boy, he went a long distance to get that ball. Keeson the hole, spun him through, and threw a strike on to Kirkpatrick. 2 down. What a play by Sinnott. Way to his left. He cut it off. 2 down and Swisher the batter. He was on a force play in the first inning. On an air by Tavares in the 4th and popped up in the 6th inning. Keeson off behind the mound, rubbing up a new baseball. 1 out away from a very big win for Bruce. Pirates leading 2-1 in a wild sort of a ball game here tonight. Richie's this triple. Foul right at the feet of Cy Guillen. This with a triple in the 7th inning and a pinch hit roll for Tavares. Over the head of Monday, scored Sagian from first base. Count of 0-1 on Steve Swisher. 2 down, nobody on. Here's the pitch to him. Ground ball to third. Hebner, easy play. He's got him at first. The Pirates win it. Bruce Keaton did a whale of a job, and they're coming out to get him. Doc Ellis, we haven't seen him in a while. And the Bucks have won a very big ball game here tonight. Keaton came up with a pitching performance that was needed against the tough pitcher, Bill Bonham, and the timely hitting of Richie Zisk. The Bucks win it 2-1. Up around good. Yeah, a whale of a ball game, a tight pitching duel, and the Bucks needed a good pitching performance tonight because we faced a fella, Bill Bonham, who had beaten us twice earlier. But the Cubs were facing a fellow that has beaten them 3 times previously this season, Bruce Keaton. And Keaton came through with a whale of a ball game after a shaky first inning to win it 2-1. The Cubs got on the board in the first inning after Money had flied to left field. Kessinger struck out. Billy Williams, single to right field. Madlock was hit with a pitch, putting Williams into second base. And then Morales on a funny corner to swing. Bounced one down the third baseline. Hebner tried to make the play. Had none at all. The bases loaded, and Pete LaCock came up. He walked him with the bases loaded, and it looked like it was going to be a rough night. But Keaton allowed nothing after that. Only one more hit, and that came in the 6th inning when Madlock singled into center field. A runner got into second base at that time, and that's the only time they got a runner as far as second base after the first inning. An overpowering job by Bruce Keaton, who picked up his 9th win, as against 8 defeats. Bill Bonham pitched well. He's a loser. 11 wins and 22 losses. Pirates run scored in the 3rd inning to tie it with a weird sort of a play. Tavares was hit by a pitch. Keaton struck out, tried to bunt, and it looked like a bad situation. But Tavares usually runs in situations like that. And in the very first pitch to Rennie Stennett, he was off and going, and Stennett bounced to third baseman Bill Madlock. No play at second, he threw to first, and Tavares with his speed moved over to third, and LaCock tried to nail him, threw wildly, and Tavares scored all the way from first base on the ground ball out to third base as he was running on the plate. That tied it at 1-1. We failed to score after a double by Oliver, a well-hit ball in the 6th inning. He struck out Stargell and got Parker to ground out. And in the 7th inning, Sagian, with a fine bunt off the third base line, got on. Kirkpatrick on a hit-run play, line to right field. Sagian came back to first. And then on a wild pitch with Ziska pinch hitting for Tavares, Manny moved on into second base. That was the go-ahead run. A big discussion as Jim Marshall came out to the mound to talk with Bill Bonham, and they decided they would pitch to him with first base open and Keaton coming up. It turned out to be a mistake because this rifled one over the head of the center fielder, Rick Mundy, who made a valiant attempt to get to the ball, turned the wrong way a bit. He lost it, a triple rather, and all the way from first base, Sagian scoring easily, and the Pirates led 2-1, and Keaton made it stand up, putting him down 1-2-3 in the 8th and 9th innings. Now, the Bucks, regardless of what St. Louis does up in Montreal tonight, are going to wind up in first place tie. By the way, I might mention that you think you've seen a whale of a pitching game here. They're seeing one up in Montreal. Bob Forsch, only 24 years old, a rookie, came up mid-season, has a no-hitter for the Cardinals through 6 innings up in Jarry Park. The Cardinals lead 3-0 on a home run in the first inning by Ted Simmons off Steve Rogers. The other ball game we'll mention in the American League, Baltimore running away from Detroit. They lead 9-2 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Los Angeles and Houston, after 3 innings, the magic number for the Dodgers, of course, won. No score after 3. Doug Rowell against Larry Dierker. Those things don't mean a whole lot to people in Pittsburgh, but we'll give you the information nonetheless. We mentioned about Forsch's no-hitter, Rich, and I guess there's nothing further going on up in Montreal, and we'll tell you we'll be on the air tomorrow night as Jerry Royce, who has won 16 and lost 11, goes against the former Pirate, a fellow from down near here in Canonsburg, Tom DeTore, his record 3-5. For Bill Roberts, our engineer, for Radio Rich, and for the gunner Bob Prince, Nellie King saying so long, and also for our good friend Bill Richards, our producer, back at KDKA, Nellie King saying so long. This game was brought to you in part by your Pilotland Chrysler Plymouth dealer, who has immediate delivery on America's #1 selling compact. By Joy, nature's high-protein food for dogs. Higher in protein, and it still costs less than most other brands. and by your good friends from Iron City Beer. When you're really ready to pour on the iron. The final score, the Pirates win it 2-1. This is the Pirate Baseball Network.